learn how to add text to our video. So the first thing you're going to do on the bottom left corner on your magnifying glass, go ahead and type in Premiere so you can open up Premiere Pro. And once this opens up, you should be able to see your recent project that you created. Okay, so you're going to go ahead and look for your introducing myself file here. So it should open up in what was last open. I'm going to go ahead and open that up. And the next thing we're going to do is learn how to add some text. Now, when we create our text, it's going to end up in the bottom left corner with all of our content. So to add text, we're going to File. You're going to New, and you're going to slide over to Legacy Title. Now you can keep the name Title 01, just make sure you know what those titles are. For right now, we're just going to practice the text with our first and last name. So I'm just going to type in name so I know that this legacy title is going to have our name on it. I'll go ahead and click OK. And on here we have a variety of options on how we can go ahead and create our text. I'm going to just try and make this a little bit bigger. Oh, and it's not dragging. Okay, well anyhow, what we're going to do here, I'll move it to the center at least. I'm going to show you a couple of things on the left hand side here. So the arrow is your selection tool. So after you type your text, you can move it around. We're going to start off with our type tool, and I'm just going to create a text box here. And notice how small my text is. I'll go ahead and type in my first and last name. Now, just like any Word application or document, you have your options on alignment. So here you have left center, center, right center. I'm going to go ahead and leave it in the center. You have your options to change the font. So I can drag and drop that and take a look at a font that I like. My laptop's a little bit slow this morning. Let me find a font that I like. I'm just going to go with something really, really simple. Okay, and then at the bottom here you can change the style, so maybe I want it to be a little bolder so it'll stand out. Another place that you can change the font type and style is on the right hand side here. So notice it has a font family, shows the same exact thing. For the font style, same thing, you can change it to bold, italic, things like that. But I want my font to be bigger. So if you look on the right hand side where it says font size, what you're going to do is hover over the number. You're going to click and drag left or right. So if I click it left, obviously it's way too small. So I'm going to go ahead and make it a lot bigger. And I'll go ahead and make sure it's just on one line. So those are some very, very basics you can work on for text. At the bottom here, you can see that there are some text styles that you can choose from. Trying to see, there we go. And if you want something in color, you can go ahead and choose that. So for example, maybe I like this one with a drop shadow. This one stands out a little bit. There's also that. So it's up to you how you want to work with your font style and font family that you want to work with. So I'm going to go ahead and go back, Control Z, to undo any changes. I'm just going to leave it nice and plain. And once again, on the left hand side, on the selection tool, if you want to move it around, you can go ahead and move it around with that tool. So I'm just going to put it right in the center. So I'm just going to eyeball it, make sure it's in the center. And once you're done with the text, you're just going to go ahead and X out. So if you look on the bottom left hand side where all your content is, when you're ready to animate it and have it do something, you're going to click and drag your text and drop it into the timeline on the right hand side. So if you notice how it says V1, V2, V3, basically anything with our images will go on there. So video, pictures, text. But you do want to make sure that once we add any images or video, the text is going to be on the top layer. So notice I can just click on my text clip here. I can move it up, and then below it will be my images. So for example, let's say that I want to put my video in there, and notice my name goes on top of my video. Okay, but we're not going to work on video yet. So our main focus is working with animating our text. So on the upper left hand side here, we have some different effects. If you don't see what I have on the upper left, make sure to click on Effect Controls. And also, if this is what's showing up, just make sure that you can see video effects, motion, opacity, time remapping. There's a drop down arrow, and then it'll give you your different options. So before animating, I just want to show you a couple things with these options. So the idea with position, you can animate your text to where it will go left or right. Your text can also go up or down. You can change the scale. Maybe you want it to start at small and then make it go bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. Maybe you would like yours to rotate. So if you notice, if you drop down any of these additional arrows, you can drag left or right to resize. For rotation, it's going to show this wheel here, and you can rotate it around. So maybe that's an effect that you want to do. For opacity, what will happen, maybe you want it to fade from dark and into the actual full brightness, thickness of the color. So notice when I drag this over to the left, it fades out, and then you have it fade back in. Okay, so that's another effect that you can do. Okay, so let me go ahead and start this again. Let me click on my clip. All right, so what we're going to do here is work on just go ahead and having our text come in from the right and go move to the center. So one of the important things with doing that, you want to make sure to, for me anyways, I like to start at an end time. So our clip is about 4 seconds long. So I'm going to bring it in just a little bit. So I'm going to put it in directly at 4. So notice how I'm dragging the playhead or the time indicator. And I'm just going to put it at 4 for now. Okay, so notice up here it says 4. You can also click on this and you can change the numbers. All right. So at this point, looking at my name, this is exactly what I want it to look like at this time. So on the upper left are our little toggle animation. So a little stopwatch that you want to click on to create the animation. So if you don't click on any of these stopwatches, then nothing's going to happen. So I'm going to go ahead and click on this because at this point in time, that's what I want my text to look like. Now you can also drag the playhead at the top here. So I'll go ahead and drag that to about 2. So at 2 seconds, what I want it to look like is I want it to be all the way to the right to where I can't see it. So I'm going to choose this number here. So I'm on position. I'm going to use this first set right here. I'm going to go ahead and drag that over to the right until I don't see my text anymore. Okay, so now it has disappeared. So when I press the space bar to play my animation, and now it comes in from the right. So you're going to use this concept with any of the different effects depending on what you want your text to do. Now there is a way to combine these different effects, but that will take a little bit more. The idea is I want you to just play around and see which one will work for you. Try it one at a time first, and if you don't like it, you can always do Control Z to undo it.